our panel today, if you will come up, Maureen and Shannon. Shannon, do you have those papers I gave you? Could you bring those, since that seems to be our sacred copy this morning? Thank you, thank you. Oh, I know, I do need to do quick housekeeping. For those of you who are returnees, how many, okay, oh, I know, I forgot my favorite question. When I was thanking people, I forgot to thank you, the attendees. We have some absolutely fantastic, loyal attendees who come month after month. I love it when people go, I don't know what the topic is, but I'm going to be there. That's fine too. Or others go, okay, this topic I want. I'm just going to play a little sort of game here. Let's just see. And you can, if you've forgotten what the topics were, you might want to look at that page in your binder there. But I'm curious. We've had 11 seminars this year. If you have been to 5 or more seminars, stand up. Now, some of you are racking your brains. What did I come to? I think so. I think you qualify. Yeah, okay, all right. Look at that. Now, those are faithful people. Now, wait. Keep standing. If you have been to 8 or more, stay standing. Others may sit down. I love it. We're checking with our partner. How many have we been to? We're not sure. That's pretty good. Now, that is great. Let's give those people a round of applause. That's right. Okay, very good. So I hope you've learned something, and we're glad that you must be, or you wouldn't be coming back. So I'm going to take that as an affirmation. Okay, so for our panel today, we're we have our topics. It's funny, we plan them like now. We're planning for all of next year, and that works really well until something changes. Oh, well, maybe we should do something different. But anyway, we do want to have. We usually have a senior or seniors share their stories. When people say, I want to know what downsizing is really like. So out of the mouth of someone who's just completed, still going through it, whatever, we're going to hear from them. We're also today going to focus on the move part, okay? A couple months ago, we talked about letting go, that emotional side. Okay? I can't take everything with me. And so now what we're trying to do, we're not focusing on that today, and we're not talking about what are you going to do about the stuff that's left at your house. That's a whole nother conversation. But what I want today is to share with you stories and learn what is it really like for a move. Now, I will just preface this with my bias. Folks, when we're looking at this move, 99.9999 and more need help. I know you're going to say, oh, I've moved many times in my life. Okay. I would dare say that when you move from house A to house B, even though you did not intend to, most of us just kind of took everything with us, okay? And for most of us, those moves were a few years ago. And I don't know about you, but my back was stronger, worked better, my knees and hips worked better. And I don't have the strength and energy that I did. And on our flyer, we had that little clipboard of all those things to do. That's a long list. You're going to hear about an alternative to that list. You're going to say, make one call, get somebody on board to help me do all that. And that's what we're going to learn about today, is the importance. So many people I know, we say, I just can't make a move. The stuff is a whole other thing, but even then, well, my kids are going to come help me. Thank you. I like that. Right. Thank you. I see sometimes that works very well. But I'm just going to say, generally, having someone who is experienced and is used to helping us, if we're going from an 1,800 square foot home or more down to 800 or 1,000 square foot, not everything is going. How can we make those decisions? What kind of guidance can be provided for us? And that's where we see move managers. With the increasing number of baby boomers, we just see so many changes in the senior industry. And one has been this new area of move management. More specifically, senior move management, with people who are trained with expertise and appreciate seniors. And we're going to talk a lot more about that. But so, and when we get to questions today, we're not answering questions about what to do with the stuff that's left at your house. Nope, that'll be another seminar. We're dealing with the move, and because it's worth that consideration. Okay, we have two outstanding panelists with us today. So, Maureen, you want to introduce yourself? Yeah, no, you do, because it's recorded too. So, it's on.
Okay, yes, I'm Maureen Laswell, and I have recently made a move, and I went through all of the steps that Virginia kind of described. I'd like to kind of share those steps with you, the journey, because although it was interesting to me, probably humdrum to the team here, and probably not that unusual. So that's my story.
It would be kind of like a case study for us that we can learn from. Now, I do have to say her journey is a little different. I'm just going to put this out there because I'm fascinated by it. Maureen had come to the seminars over the years, way back before COVID.
8 years.
And she's been coming quite a bit. But then I didn't see her for a while. And and got busy. I didn't follow up. And then she reappears. You want to explain why you were gone for a while?
Absolutely. Yeah, I had been coming to her seminars more or less regularly. We were traveling a lot internationally, but when we weren't traveling, I'd make it my business to come to her seminars because they were extremely informational. And I'm a really organized person, so the things that she presented made a lot of sense to me. But then we thought about, we're getting older, and the travels really sparked this desire in us to settle in one of the places that we had visited. And we decided that we would just haul off and in our mid-70s, move abroad. So we applied for a residency visa in Portugal. We packed up about half a dozen suitcases and our little dog, and we moved to Portugal. And we stayed there for 2.5 years. So that's where it was.
So, no, you don't have to make a little detour. I love travel, and I'm just so fascinated by that story. So it tells you a lot about her personality, too. Probably a risk taker, but does like control and organization. So, and it's all of these, and different ones of us have different degrees of all of that. But just so you understand a little bit, but her stories, all of our stories are unique. So, okay, we're going to hear more from Maureen. Shannon, introduce yourself.
Good morning. It's a joy to be with you. My name is Shannon. I work for Senior Transitions of Austin, and I've worked there for about 8 years, but I've done this for almost 10. We come to your home. We can do a consultation with you, a complimentary consultation, find out what you're taking, where you're going, and when you're going. And that's about it for me right now.
That's right. Thank you. You're going to get more of the specifics. But so, all right. I saw our other messages going across it.
She's wishing that Andrea was here.
Oh, well, she's going to be at the table to ask questions.
Introduce her.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll make arrangements for that. Where'd she go? Okay.
She's right there.
Oh, all right. You'll stand. Okay. Well, with that, just a minute. Come on. I have a plan here. So, all right. Everybody's trying to. Anyway, we're ready to go here. So we already know Maureen had a little bit different background, taking 2.5 year stay in Portugal. But now you did decide to go ahead and downsize. You'd already downsized from a larger home in Austin to Sun City. Now you want to have just made another move. What triggered you making this move to kind of what we often consider? Now, you went to a 55-plus apartment. Those of you, last month we talked about senior living options. 55-plus apartments have become a really We're just seeing more and more of those. So in a way, it's like Sun City, but it's an apartment rather than home ownership. Some of you who were on our tours, community tours last week, or last couple weeks, we were talking about these different kinds, and I'll talk more at the end. We're going to have a community tour to a 55 plus apartment in December. But 55 plus, just so we're on the same, is different from independent living. Main difference being you don't have a meal plan. Now, I have to say that carefully because in independent living, we have such a wide variety of meal plans, but there is a meal plan. That's one of the major hallmarks. Transportation, some others. But 55 plus, so it's an apartment complex. And what were your criteria?
Walkability and socialization and getting back to Austin because that's where the daughter, anybody who has the daughter probably wants to move close. Yeah, she's laughing. You know what I'm saying. I keep hearing this over and over again. Yeah, well, I moved here because my daughter is nearby. Occasionally it's a son, but almost always if you have a daughter, it's because of a daughter.
Okay. And so walkability. And so tell them, where did you decide to move?
We decided on Overture Mueller, which is in a planned community. It used to be an airport about 20 years ago. In fact, we used to fly out of that airport in Austin. It is very walkable. There's an H-E-B that is directly across the street, Starbucks next door to it. My credit union is a catty corner. Behind us is our several restaurants. I won't go through what all they are. But basically, there are parks. We have a farmer's market on steroids on Sunday, and it's just, I am really, really happy. I cannot tell you how happy I am with the move.
So, the important part is what's important to us. For some of us, oh, well, I don't want to be with all that around me. I want to be where there's more space. It's back to what's going to be important. So I just wanted to highlight that because what we really want to focus on is the move, but we know kind of why you moved and where you moved. Shannon, I want to go back to you. You gave us a brief introduction, and I'll just let you stay seated, a brief introduction about the initial consultation.
Yes.
And people come to meet with the person or the couple. And could you tell us a little bit more in depth about that? And then how does the move, now I know you could talk 3 hours, but how does the move work? Day one, day two?
Sure. Okay, so the first phase of this would be Mari and Amy come to your home. They see what you want to take. They measure your items. You know where you're going. They'll go there, and you may go to your new place with them. Or you don't have to. But Mari and Amy will also go to your new place, measure all of the walls to make sure that your furniture fits. That's the first step. They will go through closets. You can decide kind of like, hey, your new place doesn't have as much storage. You might want to start thinking about downsizing, linens, dishes, items like that. So let's say that you go ahead and you go with us, Senior Transitions of Austin. Well, on move day, this is what happens. We show up to your place around, it's usually 9:30 we get there. And we come in, introduce ourselves. We're usually wearing black. We're not wearing skirts. We're usually wearing shorts or pants. And we greet you, and we start kind of looking around. And we see green dots. The green dots means that's what's going, okay? And I'll go with you. There's also a move manager that day that you'll be linked up with. So then you'll see people start making boxes, getting just things ready. And then you'll have someone walking around you'll be showing people what you want to take. It could be, it's going to be every room that we're going to walk around. Then what we will do is we will start packing your items. Now, you're probably like, well, what do? I would plan your day. I would go to lunch. I would, if you have a family member in town, have them come get you, go spend the day away from your home because let us do the work. We're professionals. We know what we're doing. If you have Waterford, we will pack your Waterford. If you have Spode, we will pack your Spode. It will not be broken. It will be packed carefully, I promise you. We pack that all the time. So that's the first day. That usually takes, depending on what you have, we can leave around 5 or 6. Again, that is depending on what you have
Also, that depends on how organized you
and
are.
how organized. And let's back up a moment. So you're probably thinking, what do I take? Well, I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, let's say it's one person. Okay, I'm going to do the bathroom, and I'll be quick about this. But let's say it's one person. I walk into your bathroom. Max amount of towels you would probably want to take are 4, not 20. There's
For
not
those
going to
of
be
you
any
who want
room.
specifics.
Yes,
You got it.
there's not going to be room in your new place. And you don't want to make your new place crowded. You want to keep it nice. So what we'll do, I would go through it with you if you want to. We'll pick out the nice towels. Yeah, we're kind of like, I could be attached to a crummy towel or whatever, but that crummy towel, leave it. You're moving on to bigger and better, okay? We're going to make your place look nice and presentable for you and comfy. So 4 towels, one person, okay? Okay, so downsize your medicine. If you have old medicine, find something to do with it. Old makeup, find something to do with it. If you haven't used it in a long time, get rid of it. It's going to crowd your new place. Because sometimes you're moving, let's say you have a bathroom that has 2 sinks and you have 3 drawers and you have this big linen closet. Well, your new place may not have all that. You might be going down to 1 sink, 2 drawers, and maybe a smaller linen closet. We will make it look gorgeous, but we would prefer that you have gone through all of your items, definitely. And let's take, like Virginia said, she mentioned that some people want to go ahead and move themselves. Okay, that's great and all, but you're going to be living out of a lot of boxes for a long time, and that's very, very stressful. We're the professionals. We know where it goes. We're going to set you up with a beautiful office, a beautiful kitchen, a beautiful bedroom. You can go on our website. You can look at some of the pictures in the back that we have.
Thank you.
There's some information back here on
There's
this
some that
table.
can rotate. I forgot to tell him. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And so that day we're in your home, we're packing. I can imagine, I want to tell you a story that what I'm kind of going through. I have twins, they're 18, and yesterday I came across my son's robe from when he was little, okay? That means a lot to me. I love that little robe. And I'm looking at it going, what am I going to do with that? Am I going to keep that robe? So what I'm trying to say is that everyone, your stuff is precious to you. I get that. And we get that too. And it's very emotional to get rid of things. I'm probably going to pack that robe around. I'm not going to let my husband know, but I'm going to have that robe stuffed somewhere in the closet where no one knows, because that's my son's robe. It's just precious to me, okay? And that's mine. I'm going to take it. And you have the right to take what you want, okay? We could suggest that you don't take this or that, or a large cabinet. Some things don't fit. And we want your new place to be safe for you also. So let's say that we're done the first day. We've said our goodnights and everything. So the next day comes. We show up at your house. It's earlier. It's going to be around 8:30. And who is with us that day but our wonderful movers? They pull up also. Now, it starts getting real busy. So on that second day, probably better have a plan on the second day also, okay? Because here comes the movers. They're coming in. They're getting boxes. They're taking them out. They're putting on the truck. The ladies, we do put stuff in our cars because what we're going to do is go ahead of the movers. We're going to start setting up your bathroom. We're going to start setting up your kitchen. While the movers are still at your house loading all the items, we like to get ahead of them. So the movers arrive. We're waiting to move the furniture in. We know exactly where it goes because we have a floor plan. Items start coming in. It starts moving very, very quickly. And then second day, move day, takes longer, obviously, because we are unpacking your items. We are folding. everything has to be perfect, and it is. We fold your towels perfectly. It's like walking into a hotel. It's beautiful. We hang pictures. We put things exactly where they go. You have lights. You have light bulbs in your lamps. Lamps are dusted. Dishes are washed if they need to be. We leave nothing dirty. And I market the place by saying it's your toothbrush right down to your toothbrush right in your toothbrush holder, and you're ready to live. Your TV's on. Cable can be hooked up. The facility would do that. We don't necessarily do that part. Now, that is sometimes a long day, and we understand that you are getting tired and you want to see your new place. The reveal is amazing. Some people come in and go, it's just different for everybody. Some people come in and go, okay, I like it, good night. Some people come in and they cry. They see all of their items in a different light. They see it could be a chair that you love, and different pictures are hung around that. We make the space, we call it cozy. And that's what I want in my house. I want a cozy place to live. I want it warm and inviting. And Virginia mentioned there are some things that might be private to you, like office supplies or documents that you have in a box. By all means, unpack that yourself. That's fine. We get that. I would probably be that way too. I want to unpack my little office items. That's fine. But the bigger things, we want to get done for you. That's what you paid us to do, and we're the professionals. If we're there and we don't know where something goes, we'll call you. We can take a picture of things. We can communicate. Do you think I've covered everything, Virginia?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to go back and clarify some things. Yes, I like
Okay.
what you said about cozy. I wanted to mention one thing that, because you do try to recreate their existing
Absolutely.
home as much as possible in a
Yes.
new space. So you take pictures
We
of
take pictures of
arrangements.
everything.
Now,
Mhm.
when you get to the new place, sometimes the wall space doesn't accommodate that arrangement, and that's where you all use some discretion
Yes.
and make it and set it up. But I think we're going to hear from the consumer's experience with this. And some people are saying, oh, but they don't know where to put all my stuff. Well, they have been in your existing home. They have generally packed most of your stuff. They know where, so they're working from that. It's not like a stranger just unloaded this truck and put it anywhere. And you do not want to get in their way when they're working. Not in their way on the day they're packing, and especially not in the way they're in their way on the day of unpacking, settling in. They're flying.
Yes. And I also want to add, if this makes any difference, which I'm sure it does, my mother lives in Sun City. She has a 2-bedroom home. It's closer to the Walgreens up at front. She's lived there 12 years. And I've told my mom, just stay as long as you can in your home. And she knows that I'll probably end up packing her. Now, I don't know if I want to pack my mom. I don't know. I mean, I love my mom. My mom loves me. But what I would do, I think I would go in and my mom and I would decide on what she's taken. And then I might have my friends that work for Senior Transitions of Austin come in and pack. Because sometimes people can start bickering, and I don't want to do that with my mom. I want my mom to be able to say, hey, Shannon told me this, but then her friend is also telling me this, so I better listen to this. My mom's very picky. And so it would be kind of maybe personal, and you're having to leave your home. And I'm not there yet, but I can sympathize with that. My in-laws also live in Sun City. They live over on Red Poppy. And we will be facing them moving also. And so they are, quote unquote, blessed to have me to know. I see where they're probably going to go. And I know, I'm like, Grandma, you better start getting rid of stuff because you're not going to fit all this stuff in your new place. And it's by no means just packed, but they're not going to take everything. So we are staring down our parents moving, my mom and my in-laws. And it's happening to a lot of my friends. So I'm out telling people about this, but these are some of the pictures I want you guys to see what we recreate. We take, like, see the bookcase in the middle? We would take a picture of that and we just put stuff right back where it is. That's my friend Shannon and my friend Laura down there. We have worked together forever. We're friends. We work well together. We bounce ideas off each other. Like, hey, what do you think about this picture hung here? And she'll be like, oh, do not hang that there. Okay, let's not hang that there. Or I'll ask Andrea, can you come over here? I need your height. I'm short. Andrea's tall. We work well together. We all have years of experience. The bedroom, that's like perfect. I mean, you can see what we do. The office, it is clean. The books are, those books probably might be reorganized, just a different layout. And then the kitchen, what we try to do is make it look really pretty for pictures, and it does. But when you come in, you're going to start moving stuff because you're not going to live like that, obviously. And that's fine. But we make it perfect for you and comfy for you. So that's our goal.
I know a woman who moved with them a few years ago. Actually, it was before we were working together. But she was just, keeping me updated on how the process was going. And, it was interesting. One of her biggest positives was, oh my goodness, when I walked in, my curio cabinet, everything was like I had it. But it had been dusted. It was clean, and okay. Now, her biggest complaint was the day of the move, when she got ready to go have her cereal, she couldn't find a cereal bowl. Now, come on.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about that. You're going to move, so have change of clothes. I would have maybe a suitcase packed for 2 days because we're going to be in your home, and have your favorite cereal bowl, or I can't even think. I'd have to have my coffee. I mean, I would like, where's my coffee cup? So yeah, those are things, we're creatures of habit. We like that. And we understand that. So yeah, in your bathroom stuff, yes, pajamas, medicine, things it's like you're going away. It's like you're going on a trip.
Okay. Yeah. Now, we're going to save questions for the end, but I want to go back to the very beginning. She gave you an overview. I know someone's waiting for a doctor's call, so I bet that may be it. So when you go back to the very beginning, the consultation, Mari and Amy are the owners of Senior Transitions. They do the initial consultations. They meet with you and look at what you have, where you are going, and they begin to put together a plan. Now, I should have said this from the beginning. I asked Senior Transitions to be a representative of the senior move management industry. I happen to think they do a very good job. In your packet, there's a set of questions you can ask potential move managers. But still, what you're learning from them, I hope that's the goal of what move management does for you. So it's that whole, you're in charge, making your decisions. They're doing the lifting for you. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back to Maureen. Okay, so Maureen, when you finally, I shouldn't say finally, but when you and Victor decide, okay, we're going to move, and we were making arrangements to work together for the overall picture, and the first time, well, it's kind of hard to say which first because there were several conversations, but one of them was, well, we don't need a move manager because another unique thing, they've had their apartment for a period of time, so they could slowly move things from the house to the apartment. And you said, no, I don't need a move manager. We're going to do it ourselves. The next time we visited, you said, well, it might be nice to have it done. Oh, okay. Now, Phyllis, I'm sorry. Tell your story.
To give away my story.
No, I just introduced it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We have finalized the move. Let me start by saying that. And actually, the move itself was the easiest part. It was easy in the beginning. It was easy in the end. It was the middle stuff. We had the advantage of being separated from our home for that 2.5 years in Portugal. I do not recommend that you need to do that. I mean, if you want to and can do it, do it. Yes, do it, because as you get older, you don't have that energy or whatever to make a move like that, and that's why we did it. But because we were separated from our stuff, I did a mental walkthrough more than once. And I started like in the master bathroom, and I just went through every single room in my house in my head. And I realized that I was not particularly attached to a lot of my stuff, mainly the furniture. Okay, so I already had an idea of what what I was willing and what we were willing to let go of. I did have the advantage of having attended Virginia seminars when I was in town for 7 years. And so I had a lot of what they call tools in my toolbox, so to speak, because I kept gathering information. But mostly it was about downsizing. At least that's what I got. And I thought, I've got this, because I didn't have attachment, or so I thought. And I've got this. So we came back here last December, and in January, I got my big, what I call my master blaster, my big notebook, and I started walking through the house this time in the same way that I had done mentally. And I wrote down everything in every room that would, stay or go. Well, then Virginia said, well, you don't have to just do that in your notebook. We actually have a sticker system. I will bring some stickers over to you. They're the little round dots of different colors, what to keep, what to not keep, what to donate, what to give to your family. I think those are the 4 categories. Well, I only had 2 categories, and that was keep or not keep, because my family wasn't interested in having my stuff, which a lot of families are not. And donating, well, that would come down the road, just depending on what was left over from my estate sale that I thought that we might have. But the main thing was to get moved. Well, like a lot of you, you're thinking, I'm still really physically active. I am a control freak. I can't imagine somebody coming into my home, packing up my stuff. What if they drop something? What if they break it? What if they pack the wrong stuff? What if? Am I ready? Well, we were definitely ready, because we really wanted to have a different kind of life than what we were having in Sun City. Not that we had a bad life in Sun City. We just wanted something a little bit different, and we were ready. We were ready to move. The big thing was, I'm a retired nurse. I've seen a lot of older people have what we call the event. The event being that, you fall, break a hip, go to a nursing home for rehabilitation, and they tell you that you're no longer able to live independently. And then guess who makes the decision on where you're going to go live? Who do you think that might be? Your children. You got it. Not that our children couldn't make that decision, but we didn't want them to have the burden of making that decision, because it would have been a burden on them, because they're clueless. Do you know that your adult children are clueless? I know, because when my mother needed to not live alone any longer, I was clueless. So Victor and I made it our business to start visiting as many over 55 facilities as possible. We even did 3 staycations, where you stay for 2 nights and 3 days. And so we did that in 3 different facilities. One was...
You have to say communities.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not a facility. That's for sure. It's a community. 2 of them had the restaurant, so, all of your meals included, or not all, but 2 a day. And then the ones that were more independent that do not have a restaurant. That is what we chose, because we love to cook. That became a problem when it came to moving, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, we're ready to move. But then I think it was in August or September that I was here at the presentation, and I learned about move managers. And I thought, what a good idea. Wow, I would love to have a move manager doing everything. But then I thought about that control issue. I wanted to be in control. Okay? Victor wanted to be in control. We're thinking, we can do this. And Virginia came to our house and visited us. And that's what we told her. Actually, it wasn't we, it was me. That's what I told her. I said, no, we can do this. we can do this. I've already downsized. I've downsized quite a bit. I'm really proud of myself. I've already got a lot of things packed up. But then I started looking at the reality. Do you know how much stuff you have in your cupboards, cabinets, closets, and kitchen? If you cook, the kitchen is a big one. And I became kind of mentally overwhelmed. So Virginia suggested to me, why don't you just have the move manager team come over and talk to you? Yeah, it's free, they'll come over. And they did. Mari and Amy came over, and they sat. Well, they didn't really sit that much because they walked around my house. They got a good idea of what all I had, which was not a whole lot, but it was still a 3-bedroom house. It was going to be moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, okay? So they talked about coming over and measuring our apartment and all that, and I said, no, you don't have to do that because we are already done that. We know exactly where the furniture is going to go and what we need. Fine. So they wrote me an estimate. And they put it in a folder, and they left.
Now, let me just clarify. Go ahead. Are you going to explain what all was in the estimate? Okay.
And I opened the folder, and it did not include going to the apartment and measuring, but it included a full, concierge service of the move manager coming, packing up everything, going over to the apartment, being there. Like Shannon said, the day of the move, it included the move, and everything was there, all, in complete transparency. I almost had a heart attack. Okay, I'm the one who manages the finances in the family, and Maureen, I'm Scottish, so I'm very frugal. So, when Victor was available in the evening, we sat down, and I said, look at this. We can't afford this. And you know what he said? Yes, we can. I think we should do it. I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do that. So, well, the kids will help us. Okay, the kids are not kids. They're 55 or so. Well, they're not quite 55, but they're in their 50s. They have a life. They are busy. They tried to help a little bit. My son injured his back trying to help. My daughter is taking college classes in the evening. She came over one day and packed up some of our treasures, but that was about all they could offer. And I began looking at the reality of where we were in a move. We have a lot of kitchen things because both of us cook. We have a lot of everything that Shannon talked about, linens and cosmetics and so forth. And I became overwhelmed. And I thought, I have a bad back. Victor had a unplanned open heart surgery in June, unexpected. So he was out of the picture for 3 months. And I just, all of a sudden, I thought, I don't think I can do this by myself. Virginia, in one of her seminars, had suggested developing a team. I had already developed a team. She was at the top of my team list. But basically, it was Virginia, my husband, myself, and our 2 adult children. Now, remember that 2 adult children, as it turned out, weren't really part of the team other than being emotionally supportive because they were not available. Okay? So I'm still thinking, well, I want to be in control, but I think I need some help. And I just kind of broke down, and I got really emotional about it. Okay, I was emotional about the money. I wasn't emotional about letting go of stuff because I had thought this through long enough that I knew that I'm really attached to some things that my grandmother gave me. So I took things that represented. I took maybe one thing, maybe 2 things. I have 3 sets of dishes. I don't use 3 sets of dishes. I use 1 set of dishes and probably only half of that at a time. So, I started just being realistic. What will this new life entail? What will it look like? And what can I take with me? And how much can I do? So I called Mari, one of the owners of the move management. And I said, Mari, can we revisit, what I can afford and what I need, what I feel like I need? And she was really wonderful about that. She said, whatever you need, we're here for you. She did not try to sell me. She was, she was just completely on board. So I told her what I wanted, and she agreed. I said, I only need one mover. I only need that person for between 4 to maybe 8, but probably 4 to 6 hours. And of course, we need the movers to come. And the only thing that I want the move manager to do is to set up my kitchen, because the rest of it we wanted to do. I felt like that gave us enough control while at the same time having some help. So that's what we arranged. So she gave me a new estimate, and I'm like, okay, that's doable. I'm okay with that. It was almost half of what it would have been otherwise with complete concierge. So it happened exactly as Shannon described it. I had this wonderful woman named Andrea show up on the move day, the packing day. I was at home. I did not go out to lunch. I did not go to a movie with a friend or anything, because I wanted to not necessarily, she's laughing, not necessarily micromanage, but I wanted to be there. How many of you would actually want to be there when they make the move? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Okay, good. I'm not alone. So I was there, and I was watching Andrea, and I thought, oh my gosh, this woman really knows what she's doing, and she is fast. I've never been able to pack as fast as she did. And she was very organized in that, if it was going to go in the kitchen, everything went in one box, kitchen box. If it was going to go in the bathroom, everything was in a bathroom box. And she was labeling everything. And I just said to myself, okay, stand down. I can stand down. This is fabulous. When she left, my house, instead of being full of stress and duress and wondering, because that's what it was like this cloud over my house that I was so worried about, how can I accomplish this? Now my house is full of boxes stacked in nice little neat rows. The next morning, 8:30, she, by the way, called me before she arrived on both days. Hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 15 minutes. The next morning, 8:30, here's Andrea knocking on the door. And as you no sooner was knocking on the door than the truck pulled up. And the three of them, the two movers and Andrea, were amazing. And you know what I did while they were doing that? I sat and watched. I did not micromanage. I did not have to micromanage. I just sat there and watched this miracle happen. And then, when they left, Victor and I got in the car, and the 5 of us arrived at about the same time at the apartment building. And, they brought all the furniture in, put it exactly where we wanted it. The movers were fabulous. Andrea was still there. And so the movers left, and Andrea started unpacking the kitchen. And you know what I did? I went in the bedroom and sat in my rocking chair and listened to her. And I could hear the pots and pans and the dishes rattling and everything. And I thought, my God, I'm glad my husband's not doing this, because he's broken a lot of my precious things. And Andrea didn't break anything, not a single thing. And when she was finished, I went in and I started opening cabinets and cupboards and drawers. And I said, you arrange stuff pretty much the same way I would. And I was really, really happy with that. I mean, the woman actually got up on the kitchen counter, because we have really high cabinets. Andrea, stand up. This is the most wonderful woman that I have ever known. I feel like I made a new best friend. And, she didn't even want to leave when it was over, and I didn't want her to leave. So we got on the phone and we called. Who did you call, Mari or Amy, or one of the people that decide, or who figure out, not decide, but figure out how much your move is going to cost? And I said, where am I at financially? And she told me, and I said, we're under budget. And I said, can I buy a couple more hours of Andrea's time? Okay, I'm strange, I know. But, remember, I'm the one that hauled off and moved to Portugal in my late 70s. So I bought 2 more hours of Andrea's time, and it was just, the whole thing was really, really easy. It was really easy. It was me. I was the hard part. It was me getting to the place of thinking that I had to figure everything out myself. So I want to address four points on your, if you look in here, you have a sheet that says tips for hiring a move manager. And down at the very bottom, there are 4 bullet points. And I just want to say this. I already talked about how are the fees established. But the one that says what went well and what did not go well, if anything. So what went well was coming here and learning about what was available, having the support of Virginia and my other team members. But what went particularly well was the move. What didn't go well was my emotional, I don't know, letting go of the control, and, you have to trust the person who's going to move you, okay? The trust was there, so all of that went well. I can't really think of anything that did not. The second thing is, what were the benefits of using this particular move management? The benefits were that I could go into my bedroom, sit in the rocking chair with my book, and sit there and rock and read my book and look at my, my things that I knew were going to be put into this new place. And I felt this sense of happiness instead of gloom and doom and stress and duress that I was feeling at the house. I just had this sense of, it's going to be okay, even though there is still a lot of unpacked boxes. Would I hire them again? In a nanominute. I absolutely would hire them again. Not only would I hire them again, but I'm trying to talk my next door neighbor who is in the mental stages of moving because she lost her husband actually 3 years ago, but now she wants to move closer to family in Kansas. So I am pretty sure we've got a new client there. You see that? I still feel like I'm part of the team. So will I hire them again? Absolutely. Were their services worth the cost? Now that's the thing. Scottish, frugal, were they worth the cost? Every penny. Absolutely. Every penny. And both of my adult children, when I told them, I'm thinking about using a move manager and having movers come and move us, I thought it might hurt their feelings.
They went, yay.
You know what they said? Great idea, Mama. Loosen up those purse strings and do it. So anyway, that was the story of my move. Do you have any questions?
Okay, we're going to save the questions for just a minute. There will be questions.
Okay.
I want to add about knowing the concern about control. I was a little nervous about how it was all going to work. And when we often talk on, especially the unpack, move, not the pack day, but the move and unpacking, where then you come back for the reveal. Often, we encourage the person moving, take the day off, go to the movie, go to the spa, go visit friends, whatever, and then come back for the reveal. And I'm just thinking, how is this going to go? And truthfully, I hadn't heard that much about your move until last week. Maureen actually shared her story with our Downsizers Club. And in our conversation, she didn't want to give away all of her information to me, but she was talking about, we co-managed, and I'm going, oh no, what happened on Unpack Day and all of that. But the beauty of it, you felt at peace, you were there, but you weren't entering in. What happened? You didn't micromanage. I've seen, and Shannon can attest to this, I'm sure, when we want to be helpful, and so we're there, and they're putting our stuff, here, I'll do this, I'll do that. And truthfully, that slows things down. We get in the way. Is that true?
Yes, and I just want to, before I forget, Maureen mentioned packing some stuff. Don't pack your stuff because what happens is you can set it aside, but don't pack it quite yet. For one reason, you may not have it packed like we pack it. And if something were to get broken or whatever, we don't want that to happen. So and then also I've had it to where I see boxes that are packed and I'm like, "Oh, that's not packed. Like this is not going to work out." So then we have to unpack the box and then repack it. So as much as you want to help, thank you, don't do that. Let us do the packing for you. Like I said, and we move Carnival glass. I've moved tons of that. We move everything. We move clocks and expensive pieces of art. And you have to remember that we are the professionals. We've done this for a long time. So please leave it up to us. And yes, I can imagine, Maureen, I would maybe be the same way as you. I want to make sure that, sometimes you just have to kind of let go. It's going to be okay. When you walk in, you're going to see how good of a job that we do. It is excellent. It is excellent.
And
yes.
I think the important part, and the reason I wanted to do the presentation this way, is it's one thing for the move managers to talk about how great they are, and they are, and what a good job they do. But then but what's it like? And so, and you all have moved a lot of people we've worked with. It just happens that Maureen was recent and was here and likes the seminars. So she was willing to share.
Can I say something about at the conclusion of the move when Andrea was getting ready to leave? She collapsed all of the boxes and put all of the paper in a bag to recycle. And when she left, she said she took it all with her. So there was no evidence of her having been there and having set up my kitchen. And I knew exactly where my cereal bowl was. Oh, let me also tell you, not only did she set up the cabinets, but she set up the refrigerator. Now, we have a really big refrigerator in Sun City, but the refrigerator in the apartment is quite a bit smaller. Somehow or other, she worked some kind of magic to get everything that they had brought over how did you bring that food? I don't even remember because I wasn't paying attention. Freezer
bags and all that stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So it all arrived cold and put away in the refrigerator. I imagine that was the first thing she did because, like I said, I was in the bedroom in the rocking chair. And when I opened that refrigerator, I was like, huh. Yeah.
Every label is turned facing you. I mean, I'm telling you, everything is perfect.
Yeah.
We don't, then there's no sign of us being there. Yeah, everything is taken. Yeah.
And that no sign of them being there is another critical part. I can't tell you the number of times. In fact, there was one that just stood out so much in my mind. It was at a local community. I was working with a couple. They had just moved in. But this was after I'd gone over for some real estate stuff. Walking down the hall, there's a family that had moved in that day. Appeared to be, I don't know, a couple, maybe just mom and the kids, but adult children. But it's like 5 or 6 in the evening. All their boxes are just stacked everywhere. And as I walked by the hall, and their door was open. I could just hear, okay, we made it. Now what do we do? So it's probably 6 in the evening. No bed is made. You can't get through this. I'm not criticizing what they do. I'm just saying there's help available, people. It's worth it. Peace of mind, safety, taking care of yourself. And I remember when we were going through the consultation, and it is they go through this, Amy Amari, and they're calculating. To me, there's a lot of magic in this, and that's probably not the best word, but that day, they go through, and then they go, okay, well, it's going to take 2 women 4 hours, and these are going to be the supplies we need, and this is what, and then unpacking how many hours and how many people, and then the mover. So this is what it will be. And she was so engaged with what they were offering. Wow, this sounds good. This sounds good. Until they gave her the folder. And I'm just going, I'm caught in the middle. It's her call, but I thought, I just wish you'd use them because I think it's going to be so good. But, well, you think about it. But you know what? because I wish Victor could have been here today. But Victor was not there at that meeting, her husband, and I thought, I wonder if we would have had a different outcome if Victor would have been here. But you and Victor then had your conversation and came to the, But the point is, it's hard. It's a big decision. And Shannon, can you give us any idea of a range of costs from easy moves to?
Well, okay, I want to use my mother for a good example because I know what she has, I know where she lives, I know what her house looks like. Okay, so my mom, Maureen, you remind me of my mother, how organized you are. And that is really a key thing. If you are thinking about moving within the next year, I would start now going, I know that sounds so soon, but no. Start figuring out what you are going to keep and what you are not going to keep. And you can call family members. Hey, I'm starting to move. Would you like this? Would you like this? I mean, that's what it comes down to. So let's take my mom's house. My mom lives in a very modest home. Like I said, it's if you live in Sun City, you can picture this home. It's up by Walgreens. It's on Ploverville Lane. It's a 2-bedroom. Okay, it's a 1-bedroom with an office. They don't say it's a 2-bedroom because it doesn't have a door. And she has a garage. She has a 2-car garage. And my mom has very minimal items. Now, the biggest thing that she would have to pack is probably her closet because she has a dress in there or a dresser in there, and she has a lot of clothes, and that's just where kind of like a lot of her items are, like old photo albums, things like that. So my mom's house we could be out of there by 4:00, easy, 9:30 to 4 to pack my mom.
Is that too?
That's I would say that's 2 people. Yes. My mom doesn't have a lot of excess items. Now the garage might be, I don't know. I'd have her clean that out before because we just have a lot of extra things in there because it's storage for her. But everything is, when you walk in, you kind of like, oh. And I've told my mom this. I'm like, Mom, when we move you, this is going to be the easiest move because my mom just doesn't have a lot. So yes, 2 from 9:30 to 4. Then the next day. So move day's always longer, obviously, because we're putting your items away. Sometimes we're not out of your house till almost 8:00. You will probably be tired that day, but you walk in and everything is set up. So my mom's house would be from, let's see, on move day we get there at 8:30. We'd be out there about 5, around the same time, because she just doesn't have a lot of stuff. And what that entails is, trying to think, probably the garage would be the biggest part that she would have to kind of clean out.
Can you give us an estimate of the cost? Or?
Yeah, well, let's see. Okay, so 2 times 75, so that's 150,
50.
then times your 8 hours or 9 hours, however long we're going to be there.
Okay.
That's how.
So that, and they're very straightforward about that.
Yes.
It's $75, and some of you are freaking out. Let me tell you, that is a deal.
And you don't want to, Mari and Amy let you know right up front how much it is. And, people want to say, I want to move myself or, so Maureen, you unpacked some of your stuff, right? Okay.
But that's late. I mean, you got your apartment's all set up from day one.
Yeah. I mean, that's like I said, I mean, gosh, just let us do it. I mean, it's done. We walk out, we take everything with us. Like I said, if you want to unpack some items in your office that are, personal papers or whatever, that's fine.
I can do this.
But we're efficient. We are efficient. I will say that. This is the thing. We don't sit and eat lunch. We don't do that. We eat at the counter and we keep going. We don't sit down and take breaks. We are exhausted at the end of the day, but your apartment looks amazing. Yeah.
So,
Andrew? Yes, 75. Yes, she is. She can walk in a place and go, I know how many people, how many boxes, how much paper to bring in here. And every time we leave, we're like, oh my gosh, how do they do this? Yes.
Okay. Oh. Okay, yeah. We're always saying because we don't have you on a mic.
The more decisions you make up front,
The more organized,
The less
and
expensive.
time-saving.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to
Yes.
come back and we're going to hear some more. But Maureen said she's willing to share some price information.
So when Mari and Amy left, and I looked at the estimate sheet, and like I said, I nearly had a heart attack. Then Victor came into the picture in the evening, and I said, look at this, and he's like, yeah, that looks reasonable. And I said, it's not reasonable, it's outrageous. It was just north of $3,000. Okay. And I said, we can't afford that. And he said, well, what were you thinking of spending? What was your, okay, no judgment here. I'm thinking, well, somewhere around 500 to 1,000. He burst out laughing. You can laugh. Okay, don't judge, but you can laugh. Come on, laugh. I know. Oh, okay, what was I thinking? That this was still 1950? So anyway, he said that's really unrealistic. You need to think about what is being offered and just do it. So and I'm thinking $150 an hour for 2 movers. I'm thinking, okay, I'm not okay with that. So that's why I negotiated with Mari, and we came up with my plan, what I felt like we could afford. So in the end, before I bought 2 extra hours, we were at $1,800. I'm like, how did that end up being so inexpensive? Well, because I chose one mover, or packer, rather, Andrea. She was really efficient, really fast. She got out of there shortly after noon on packing day. The movers, the same thing. They were very efficient, very fast. So it was $1,800. So I bought, a couple $100 more, evened it out at $2,000, and that was, that was my move.
So, when she was able to negotiate, she said, I really think that let's do as much as we can with 1 packer rather than 2. And then, Andrea had already said, she was very organized and knew what she wanted to take and had already cut things down. So, if some people, no, there's no way one person can pack you in 8 hours or whatever. So so probably a $3,000 might be just go up from there. Again, save your back, save your family, get it done, not have umpteen boxes left. Now they do have some because you want, but it's not your main things. It's not impeding your daily life there. So it's tucked away. Okay, just a second, Andrea. And then, all right. Yeah, can we take a mic to Andrea?
Oh, yes. Okay. So you're talking about when we're doing moves, we'll say like, how can you take that? Can you take that? And we want to take that.
I don't like the microphone, but
Yeah. Go ahead.
no, I mean, sometimes if you're not able to make those decisions, there have been multiple moves where we go in, we pick out their furniture, we pick out the clothing, we pick out the knickknacks that goes. So that is part of our service as well.
Yes.
And we also can help downsize. We do that a lot too. Go in maybe a month or 2 before the move and help you donate items or pack items that you're not going to use until the move. So.
Yes.
And so that's a good point. When we talk about their normal, seems like I'm echoing, they come in and pack one day, move and unpack another day. That's if you're organized and ready to go. And some of you there are different degrees of that, have different ways of getting there. The interesting part in the lead up to that is we often encourage people at this stage of the process, focus on what is going with you. Hence the green stickers, go. Put green stickers on what is going with you. Keeping in mind the space in your new place. We can't take everything, and I've said this often. I've seen people do their own floor plans. They know what furniture that's going to work. Although some of us who aren't experienced at that forget that. We have to consider where the electrical outlets are, where the switches are. You can't put a bookcase in front of that. These people know how to look out for that. We get a floor plan, but I still see so often we get the furniture, but then we try to take everything from every linen closet and it doesn't work. I like that for a single person, 4 towels is probably what you need. We'll just leave the others. We'll figure that out in the next step. You know, how many plates and dishes? I know one person, you know, said, well, someone said, well, let's take 4 dishes for a single person. And no, I'm taking my whole set because I only want to run my dishwasher once a week. And so, you know, we all have our own rationales for what we want to do.
And that's fine. If they want to take it, let them take it. Yes.
Okay, you're not going to just stop in there. Okay.
Can I say something about that?
Oh.
Keep in mind that you are not going to probably have a garage. And what do we use our garages for? I mean, how many of you park your car in the garage, or you know, how many can't because you're using your garage for storage? You are not going to have a garage. Now, a lot of these places do have little storage locked areas that you can rent in addition to your, you know, your apartment rent. So you can put a little overflow in there, but you know, it's not a garage. So what, you know, consider that not only what you have in the house, but there's also what you have out in the garage.
Okay, well, so then we'll save the conversation about liquidation and getting rid of the stuff. That's a whole nother conversation. And I know we're going to be running short on time. Let's take just a couple or so questions, and then Shannon and Andrea will be back at the senior transitions table, and Maureen, you'll be willing to visit with people too. Okay, let's get these 2 questions.
I'm not clear when you said that you moved to Portugal. Were you planning on coming back in 2.5
Okay,
years?
let's save that one for a conversation.
Well, the reason I'm asking, excuse me, is because I was going to ask, then in your planning, did you go ahead and downsize at that point and then downsize more after you got back?
Yes, I actually had downsized my books and my CD collection because those were my dearest friends, and I knew they'd be the hardest ones for me to get rid of.
You kept your house while you were
Kept
gone.
the house.
They didn't.
We
They
did keep the house.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she can fill you in more on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be willing to answer any of your questions because, yeah, I'll be at the table afterwards.
I have 2 questions, please. How can we go to that club you're talking about? And what about pets? Do you help move pets?
Oh, yes. We
'Cause I can't lift their carriers.
Okay, so let's say that you have a dog or a cat. Okay, so let's see, a cat you can keep in a carrier for, I don't know, a little bit of time. You might, if you have a friend or family to help keep your pet that day, that would probably be best because the doors are going to be open. We can't just continually watch for a pet to leave the apartment. A dog is more crateable at the time than a cat, I would think, being. Yes. Well, what kind of, give me an example. What kind of dog do you have?
Cats, but the carriers are too heavy for me to lift.
We'll move your cats.
Thank you.
Yes.
So-
I mean, Andrea, would we move the cats? We would move the cats.
And the
Yes.
bigger issue, it brings up the bigger issue about often we encourage people to make arrangement for the pet for the day, whether, you know, but yeah, you're right. They will help you with that, but making arrangements.
Yes.
Let's-
Yes.
okay,
We would help
okay.
you. Yes. Whether you got 5 or 6 or 7 cats, we'll move them for you.
I was going to say I've never seen us take one in a truck, or we'll put it in your car. We can help you lift heavy things that you want to put in your car. Help you get those things out of your car as well.
I've moved when I was in college. I took care of some cats, and I had 5 cats in my car, taking them to my aunt's farm to let go, which was traumatic in itself. But I've moved 5 cats in my car before, so we got you. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
She also
That'll
asked
be our
about
last question,
Downsizing
right?
Club.
What? I'm sorry.
She'd also asked about Downsizing Club.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Downsizing Club, we meet once a month. Debbie, will you can answer, and I'll be back at that orange table. And Downsizing Club members, raise your hands. So it's there. Okay. They're great people to talk to. It's a support group. Follow up with me and we'll get you information. But there is a flyer about it back on our Seniors Living Smarter Services table. Okay.
I just wanted to say that we helped the 90-year-old, and we were given your name through Wesleyan. And they came out, they talked to him. He's, oh, that's too much money. He would do this to me. And I thought it was extremely reasonable because we were the ones going to have to do it.
There you go.
And this was a friend. And so the day came and I went through his house with him room by room. What do you want to take? We put it on the extra bed, et cetera. So they came out and they packed him, and he was a worrywart. They're taking too much stuff. They're taking way too much stuff. I don't want all that to go. Let it go. So the next day we took him for the day, and he came in and he was absolutely blown away. He could not believe what they had done. He had told them certain pictures that he wanted, and they had decided where those would go, but they put something in a place that never occurred to him. He was absolutely blown away. 90-year-old.
So he decided the cost was going to be worth it one way or the other.
Well, he went forward with it, but it was fabulous, and the movers were wonderful. That money includes all the packing materials too,
That adds up.
and the take away all the boxes. I mean, literally, he walked in. It was stunning.
I know I've heard people tell stories of, you talked about when your kids said that's a great thing to do. Go for it. When kids say, hey, I'll contribute money, save me having to take a week off work, having to fly in from somewhere or whatever, or the bickering or the whatever. So there's another funding source possible. We'll do that. Okay. I want to thank you all very, very much. Did you have one other thing, Shannon?
I just had one other thing. Our last client, or my last client that I moved, was 95. Pretty sprite, but she needed her chair for the day. She had to sit, she had to be in her chair, and we honored that. The chair was the last to go. Her son took her in the car. The chair was put in the apartment, and she was put in her chair. Now, not that she couldn't get out of her chair, but she had a bad back, and so she needed to be in her spot. But every single move is different. And we come from, some people are like, I don't care, do what you need to do. Some people, Maureen, she's like, how do I let go of this? I mean, it's going to be a process in your head, but we are the professionals. We know what we're doing. We will get your stuff to your new place. And that's why we're here, to take the burden off you doing a thing. You don't have to lift an item. We do it for you.
So I want to, did you have
So in conclusion, what happened here? There you go. Okay. In conclusion, when I come to Sun City, I just came for 3 days. I'm not going to go into why, but we still have our home. When I come into our place in Sun City, I look at it as, oh, this is a house. When I go into the new apartment, I'm at home. I look at it and it's very cozy, like Colleen said. It's really cozy because all of my things are so close together, and I can sit and look around and go, I love this. I love this place. I love the space. It's smaller. I can take care of it myself. It's home. It's home.
And for those of you that we've talked about, and we have a little brochure back there, Downsizing Made Easy, 5 simple steps. It's having, some of the steps include having the team, letting professionals do the work for you. But this was a perfect conclusion. The last step in downsizing is, whatever wording we come up with, embrace your new place. Now, yes, for a variety of reasons, you still have your home here. It's not because it hasn't sold, it's because it's not in the market. But your point is, that's your home now. How do we embrace that lifestyle and move on? So that is great. I want to thank both of you very much. And I'm going to let's give them a round of applause. I'm going to let you, in fact, why don't you go with Debbie back to my orange table back there? That'll be a place where people can find you then. So I'll let you all move back there. Some final announcements, just real quick. Yes, this is our final seminar for this year, but we will see you hopefully on January the 9th. Yes. And everybody's helping me today. Thank you. But don't take your name tags. I know some people say, well, they have fancy name tags and I have a stick-on name tag. Well, the reason is the plastic ones, those are people who've been on their list. They already had their name tags, and so we were out of those. So come back again, you'll have a new name tag. To also make clear on the binders, we did not bring new binders this month because it was the last one of the year. So for those of you who this was your first time, then if you come again, you'll get a binder. We weren't getting binders because I know there were several of you on special assignments this month, including you're already ready to move and you just want to come see what it's going to really be like. So you got the scoop. So that explained that. Be sure to fill out your feedback form on here. On the back, it does say to register you for January 9th. And if you want to be added to the postcard list, and I'll mark that. And a complimentary downsizing consultation. If you want to meet with me, it's just to get general information. I'm glad to do that. Okay. Brielle is going to have out on the table, she has a sign-up sheet. Last month when we had our community discovery tours, we went to Truewood and to Oscar and to the Delaney. And we'd said we would do one to Watermere, which is a new under construction community in Round Rock, a 1431 University there. And it has 55 plus and independent living. So, but it's under construction. I have people, in fact, we had to leave. Someone who was with us today will be moving in April when their independent living opens. But we are going to have a special tour down there on December 6th. If you want to sign up for that, it's like we will see the parts that are open. And anyway, it'll be a neat orientation. It may have hard hats. Who knows what it's going to be. But we get to go see their community if that's of interest to you. Yes, I guess that. Oh, that's right.
For this year, we have the packet. So there's not every month, but if there's a few that are left over from the rest of the year, you're welcome to pick those up if you did not pick them up or were not able to attend those seminars.
So it's a little packet we give you each month. The ones that were left, she has out for you to get. So, okay. I want to thank everybody for being here today and wish you a very happy Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and everything else that comes at this time of the year, and hope you get to enjoy being with family and friends. And look forward to seeing you in January. So thank you.